Greetings.
Belal Muhammad takes on Jack Della Maddalena this Saturday as the main event of UFC 315. And this is going to be an absolute banger. Jack Della Maddalena, probably one of my favorite fighters out there. Absolutely ferocious striker. Very fun to watch. A lot of killer instinct, a lot of finishing potential. Getting his first title shot, first 5-round fight as well in the UFC. Taking on Belal Muhammad, making his first UFC title defense since his win over Leon Edwards back in July. Going to be a very interesting matchup. Classic striker versus grappler matchup, you could say. But Leon starting to improve on his striking. Seems like every fight he's looking a little bit better, a little bit more crispier, much faster with his hands. In his last fight against Leon Edwards, mixing it up well with his takedowns. So very excited to see this fight and kind of see how it plays out. Belal Muhammad, been in the UFC for a long time, on a really good win streak. Had that kind of setback with Leon Edwards that ended with an eye poke, but hasn't lost since January of 2019 by decision to Jeff Neal. Before that, didn't lose since November of 2016. So tons of momentum on his side. A lot of high-level experience, 5-round experience. He's an elite wrestler, absolute cardio machine, kind of like a 170-pound Merab Dvalishvili. Can shoot takedowns endlessly and getting more and more dangerous on the feet every time we see him. Pretty good striking as of late, good hand speed, good jab. We saw that against Leon Edwards, was able to tag him a few times and throw some really fast combinations. Mixed in his striking very well in between shooting his takedowns. Was able to TKO Sean Brady back in the day by standing TKO, which was really impressive. I didn't see that one coming, but you know, he'll back you up with pressure, land his strikes, get you up to the cage, then shoot, or at least kind of make you work against the cage. So gonna have to really work that takedown and grappling game against somebody like Jack Della Maddalena, who no slouch in the grappling game either. You know, he's shown okay takedown defense. He's a jiu-jitsu brown belt, trains with Craig Jones and out of Australia, who's very high level on the ground, but elite striker, probably some of the best boxing that I've seen in the UFC, definitely in the 170-pound division. Switches stances effortlessly, rips to the body, probably one of the best body strikers in the game. Just absolutely rips. You know, liver shot KO of Imaev, I think his name was, in his first fight in the UFC. So nobody has better body work than JDM, which opens up a lot of his head strikes as well. Will throw high kicks, front kicks, but primarily a boxer. Never really comes out of the position. His hands are always up. He's always, you know, defensively responsible, kind of watching his opponent, waiting to see what they're doing. Excellent defensive guard, where opponents don't really ever land flush on him. I've never really seen him get hurt. Doesn't really get tagged fully. You know, they'll bounce off his shoulders, kind of glance off of them. He'll bob and weave, and you know, take the snap off of a lot of the strikes that do land. And he's able to stay in the pocket with that style, take glancing blows, but which allows him to kind of stay in position to land his strikes and his counter strikes. And very fluid combos. He'll even switch stance in between them. Covers a lot of distance to land his strikes. If you had asked me who won this fight prior to the last fight, where I thought Leon Edwards was going to smoke Belal Muhammad, just being a little bit more technical on the feet, better movement, better, just all around better fighter, I would have went with JDM. But seeing Belal, the way that he just kind of dismantled Leon Edwards in that last fight, was being very effective on the feet, getting his takedowns. You know, he did have some adversity towards the end of some of those rounds, the end of the fight, where Leon got on top and cut him open. But other than that, I mean, I think Belal gets this one done. Jack Della Maddalena's his takedown defense is suspect. It shows that he's 70%, but Burns was 7 for 11 on takedowns. Basil Hafez got him down 3 times, and Hafez kind of turned out to be a dud. Really not as good as we thought he would be coming off of that performance. I know it was short notice, but still got him down 3 times. Neither of those guys are really primarily wrestlers. Burns is more of a jiu-jitsu guy. So seeing these guys who aren't elite level wrestlers and aren't to the ability of Belal have that much success against them, I think that Belal is going to just spam takedowns and get a lot of them in this fight. I know JDM landed a beautiful knee against Burns, but Burns was pretty tired, and he doesn't have the cardio or the wrestling that Belal does. He's like I said, he's a jiu-jitsu guy first, and I don't see Belal being tired and shooting panic takedowns or kind of making lackadaisical decisions like that because he's tired or because he's hurt. Belal can shoot all night. He's not going to get tired. Burns was able to keep him down for a little bit, and I think Belal will have even more success, and if not, he'll just continue to shoot and not really slow down the way that Burns did in that third round. I am concerned if JDM can start landing his body shots that he does so well, if he'll be able to kind of eat away at the cardio of Belal. I'm curious to see if JDM can land the shots that he did in the Burns and Hafez fights. He was able to defend against Imaya very well and get the liver shot, but JDM's also showed some kind of low IQ moves that I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about, and I think that Belal will be able to take advantage of those in this fight. At times he would pull guillotine or kind of go for a darce and give up position in some of his fights. He was pulling guillotines instead of digging underhooks to defend takedowns in the Basel Hafez fight. He defended a takedown and could have easily pushed off or kept top position, or pushed off and got back to his feet, but he put himself on bottom against Hafez when he didn't have to, going for a darce. He was beating him up on the feet, beating up Hafez on the feet, went to the ground with him, tried to take his back, was reversing round 3. Just a lot of these mistakes that he can't make against somebody like Belal, because if he does, Belal will capitalize, will hold him down, and will win rounds off of him. He's got to do everything that he can to keep this on the feet and not even try to out-wrestle Belal or even go for submissions. I don't think he's going to submit Belal. I don't think Belal's ever been submitted. He's been finished by punches and lost decisions, but never been submitted. He trains with, Khabib and those guys. So I doubt he's going to have any success in terms of grappling, and even if he does, I feel like he's going to tire himself out, wear out his arms while doing so. And finally, Belal's striking, and this is kind of kind of a light bulb moment for me in his last fight with Leon Edwards. He is an elite wrestler, but he throws strikes with such bad intentions. Not just to set up his takedowns, he's really trying to take your head off. And you're forced to defend. You're forced to defend these, hammers coming your way, because if you don't, you're going to get knocked out by Belal Muhammad, which nobody wants. And when you're defending, that's when he shoots takedowns. He isn't worried about you shooting on him if he overthrows or if he gets off balance because he's winging punches too hard, because he knows that you're not going to grapple with him. He knows that if you do shoot, he's probably going to defend it and end up on top. So he's shooting takedowns at the right times and is setting it up with, really good punches. Like, you'll see some jiu-jitsu practitioners, they'll throw little pitter-patter punches just to kind of get your hands up or get you thinking, and then they're shooting under. Like, Belal's looking to take your head off, because he knows he doesn't have to worry about you ducking under and shooting on him. He knows that, nobody wants to grapple with him. They're not going to shoot takedowns on the guy. So they're forced to defend. And when they do, that's when he's shooting takedowns. And he has the cardio and the wrestling advantage. He just went 5 rounds with Leon Edwards. He has the 5-round main event and championship experience. JDM has never gone 5 rounds, which is just crazy to me that they're giving him a title shot. I know he's really good, but never gone 5 rounds in the UFC, never even been scheduled for 5 rounds to even build a camp around going that long. And he's only gone to a decision twice in the UFC. So he's only gone to 3 rounds twice. And Belal went 5 rounds with Vicente Luque, Gilbert Burns, and Leon Edwards in his last fight. JDM hasn't fought in over a year. He's going into his first 5-round main event title against an absolute cardio machine who will be pushing the pace and wrestling all night. It just doesn't seem like a recipe for success for him. Belal has all the momentum, all the experience. Only thing he's lacking here is the striking ability of JDM, but everything else is kind of in his favor. So I got to go with Belal Muhammad to get this one done. I don't think he finishes JDM. JDM was able to survive a lot of submissions in his career. He's able to stay safe on the ground. He can be controlled though, and I think that's where this fight takes place. Is Belal landing his strikes on the feet, maybe gets stung a few times, but primarily getting this fight to the ground and controlling en route to a 5-round decision win. Thanks.